Welcome to the Get Your Right On podcast, a podcast for aspiring authors who are ready to publish their books.
Oh yeah.
Each week, we interview authors, learning about their publishing journey, and giving you tips to get your books published the right way. Now, here's your host, Chantea Williams.
All right, you guys. Hello. I am back with another episode of Get Your Right On podcast. So this is one of the bonus sessions in our season 2. I am so excited to get started. This episode is being sponsored by Perry Jr.'s Book Club, which is our book club for children ages 5 through 18, where we teach them how to write and publish a book in a summer camp. So we're actually wrapping up our very first summer camp. We relaunched or rebranded our children's writing program. And so listen, stay tuned. More information about, their books and how you can support them later on. As a matter of fact, I think I might actually schedule them to come on the podcast so that you guys could hear them talk about their books. So I'm just so excited about the things that they have done this summer. It's been absolutely amazing. So listen, I am your host, Chantea Williams, and I am excited for this Get Your Right On podcast as we talk to authors who are self-published and traditionally published about the author and publishing journey. So for season 2, our topic is, what do you wish somebody would have told you about publishing before you did it? And so listen, this season 2 is going to be fire. So listen, you guys, stay tuned. Today, we have Miss Ivraline Applewhite, who is an inspirational author. She loves ladybugs. She is humorous, and she tries to see the silver lining in her life experiences. She has an MBA, and she has a professional background in social services. So listen, you guys, help me welcome none other than Miss Ivraline. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You are the official first author for season 2. So I'm so excited. That is very special because you were one of my first students when I launched this publishing company. We did it under a former name. And so to see you go from your journey from ebook to print book has been amazing. Amazing. So I'm actually going to ask you the question from season 1, and then I'm going to ask you the question for season 2. So season 1 question was, why did you write your books? Well, and for you, it's books with an S.
Well, my books, okay. I will say that I've always knew I could write, but I always used it for school and I used it for work. So I did not think that I would be an author. Didn't expect that. And so going through my journey, which is amazing, but it will be 5 years since I started my own self-discovery journey. And when I started that journey and I was finding myself after changes in my life and situations that were beyond my control, but I had to trust God and his plans, I started saying, and I would tell everyone, welcome to us at Selfie Nation. Y'all need to come join Selfie Nation. Y'all need to join Selfie Nation. And I just learned how to enjoy me, social life. And that was one of the areas of my life that I did not have balance in. I worked, I served at church, I took care of my family and all of those things. And I took care of everybody but Ivraline. And Ivraline, who enjoyed loving other people, got so drained. It did not bring me joy in doing the things that I love. I will naturally help someone. That's just my nature. And that's just who I am. I like seeing people happy. I like seeing people fulfilled. And it is not all about financial and all those things. It's the internal things, because that's what's on my radar. So me going through that journey and me feeling so good about just reconnecting with me and finding myself again, and having that vision. When I saw the email, because I would watch you from Periscope, so I took you way back, I know. And so when I saw the information about the writing challenge, 40-day writing challenge, that's what it was. And so I said, and I was like, I saw that 40-day, and I was like, and I was just led to sign up. It was like, and when I still remember that first day, and he was like, okay, y'all, I don't know what I'm gonna teach y'all, but we're here and we're gonna do it together. I said, I'm just being led. And you was like, God told me to do this and I'm doing it. And I remember when we had our consultation, I told you, God told you to do this and he told me to sign up. And we've been together ever since. And like I was telling you, you're mentioning Selfie Nation because when I was going through my journey, I had to look at forgiveness. I did not want bitterness to creep in, defile me. And you see so many people in bondage of unforgiveness. And it's sad to see because it changes your whole spirit, not the person that hurt you. And I did not want to carry that with me. And so you were doing a Periscope talking about forgiveness and forgiving yourself first and everything. And I went through that journey and I forgave Ivraline for mistreating Ivraline. I didn't blame nobody else for what situation I was in. I neglected me. I allowed myself to get to that point. And so then it was loving me and with God's help back to health and also guarding that peace and that love and just finding that joy for life again and just that fun and light. And so that's when Selfie Nation was the title, had to be of the book. And so I kind of just shared in Selfie Nation my journey of finding a social life and the little things I did. And I shared, about how I went about it just so others can actually start their own journey. It got to the point where Friday was my going out day. And I went out every Friday. Matter of fact, Friday I was dressed to go out since we out of the pandemic semi, but it was like, and it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter a thing. All I did was went and bought a gift for someone else. But it was just the fact that I was out and just being out and with no one else with me and just, having the music in the car and enjoying the outing. And so that was the first book. Then you did the writing challenge again. And I signed up and I had to do one on marriage. Now that was a tough one because I was having challenges in my own marriage. And I was like, okay, why are you making me write this book? I'm like, I don't want to tell nobody what to do. It don't seem to have worked for me. So, but it did work, but it takes two. And so I remember when I wrote that book, I had to, it was already in me. So mind you, these was 40 and 40 days. So these books was already inside. It just poured out and how I, felt about marriage, my values about it, and just how the philosophy that I used from the beginning. Because in the start, I invited God in. I was like, I know I don't know what I'm doing. And I was 23 years old. I'm like, Lord, I need you. I invited him in. And he did keep it. And he kept me and he done shut me up times. And I still significantly remember, I mentioned it in the book, the time that I don't even know what my husband had did at the time, but I had a plan to get him when I got home. And I was going to start, I know I was going to start an argument because I was practicing it in the car and I was saying what I was going to say, what I thought he was going to say. And I'm doing all of this, it wasn't godly, and all of this little planning and to be acting a fool. Got home, saw him, looked at him, asked if you're hungry, and just went on our day and everything went fine. And then it wasn't until the next morning I realized that Lord shut me up. And so I was like, okay, Lord just said, no, you ain't. Shut up. And so, because marriage is about relationships. Mm-hmm. And it's about saving that relationship. It's about thinking about you are partners, you're teammates. If your spouse fail, you fail. If they lose, you lose. Whatever they go through, you go through. Sickness and in health, and that's truly. We've, bankruptcy, type of things. And, I can say that and share that and not be ashamed of that, because I had to learn about finances and those things. And we, learned and everything. And it was like a job loss that partially helped with that. But, learning from that and growing from that as you're growing. Like I said, we started at 23. Now we was babies. So I wrote the book, So You Want to Get Married. And the target audience was those that are planning to get married, but also that have been married. Because some people are married, but they're not happily married. People don't realize you can look at the couple and you can tell. When I see people and I see the couples and I see the piece on each other, like, yeah, I done told people, like, yeah, give your wife credit, she's good to you. I can tell, look at you. Or the husband, you can tell, as far as that love in a relationship. Doesn't mean you aren't going to get along. You live in life with people. You're changing and transitioning. You're having life cycles. Well, I like that 23. I don't like in my 40s. what you may have thought was cute, though, they get on my last nerve. Let's be real. You know, you don't want to wash the dishes all the time because I didn't like washing dishes when I was younger. So definitely you be like, oh, do I still gotta wash dishes? I need a dishwasher. But all those little things that's the quirks. So I just wrote that, and then the Lord led me to interview a couple that had been married for like 40 something years, and I asked them because it talks about the key ingredients of success for marriage, so it gives some tips. And then I asked them the same question, and then I wrote down their results, and then I also asked them, just as a bonus, I said, well, you're going through trying times, what are some tips to face the storms? And they gave those tips too. And so I just was amazed at how God put that together, even though I was emotionally traumatized from doing what I was called to do. But of course, purpose is not easy. If for those believers, you realize it wasn't easy for Moses. It wasn't easy for Joseph. It wasn't easy for anyone. And when we understand that and we understand the journey, then we can understand it's not going to be easy for you either. But with God, you can do it. And so this has truly been a journey of faith for me, even getting where I'm at, creating those books. And then the fun one was the 21-day self-love challenge. Yes. And that book, you spoke into me. And I have to say, and what you said came to pass, because it was funny. You was like, you know what? You're going to write a journal. Mind you, you ain't asked me nothing. I'm just saying. You don't write
say that. And I'm just like,
but I wrote you a journal, gave me my deadline, and I would say anybody publish with her, you're gonna get them deadlines. You feel like you in school, and it's like that teacher gonna look for you, so you don't want their email. So you heard them get. But and so it was like, and I sent it to you with the journal, and so that was like my first physical book. And when it came out, I was like, oh my Lord, I have a physical book, because the first two are ebooks. I'm like, I have a physical book. It was like, I wrote this, I did this. And, just the whole piece, because it started out with the self-love challenge, which was like daily activities and stuff like that, taken from the concepts of the book, but not everything from the book. And so it just was, amazing and, a blessing. And it was your blessing of me, because I went to one of your trainings and you had offered, you said, I want to bless y'all. So if you want to consult with me and talk to me, let me know and we'll do something. And you told them later that I was the only one that took you up on that offer.
You sure
See, I listen. I write my notes. I'm a student every time I'm going to training. Don't think I ain't forget about the other one. I'll be talking to you about my holiday activities and stuff. I got that in there as I work on stuff. But and so it was God's plan. And so the book came out in February. Well, yeah, about February, March, right after the challenge, because the challenge started around that time. Then the pandemic hit, and I will have to say, after the pandemic hit, I was thinking, okay. And I'm seeing all of these, mind you, I work in social work, so I have that heart. But I'm seeing all these challenges they're talking about people having, they're losing their jobs, their, families worried about housing. And I'm like, okay, nobody don't buy no book right now. They got more important things to do. And I had to later repent for that. I had to repent for putting my thoughts on what God had time for me to do, because people weren't buying the book. They did need the book. They did need that inspiration and the fun little activities that had come up. And the timing was just perfect, because not knowing that a pandemic was going to happen. And so you're in a pandemic and you stuck in the house, but in the book, it gives you creative activities each day. You figure out what you're going to do. So it's no limits in that, but it's just fun little things and just little inspirations of the day and, just activity and just some words of, wisdom to help you on as you go forth. Which would be good, because I did a couple of activities during the pandemic, and I was like, okay. Ended up on a trail that I got scared because I could only get one way in and the other way out, and I had to do the whole trail to get out of there. Because then that mind started thinking, I'm like, I can't get out of here. What was I thinking? I'm talking about a new activity, me trying to follow this book.
That is so funny.
And then in August, I launched a newsletter. So every month I send out at least if it don't come out earlier because I'm led and inspired with it, and so I'm not trying to push the timing. But by that last day of the month, that newsletter's coming out, and so we did 11 ones, and I just get amazed because I send them to me too. I need inspiration, so that ain't just for y'all. That's inspiring me too. And I have to go back and I read what I wrote. I'm like, dang, for real? But, just trying to inspire on your journey because we need that inspiration. And I know through my journey, if it wasn't for the people that encouraged me, if they just was a sounding board or those things, then I don't know if I would be here today talking to you. And so I, paying it forward because people in my life have poured into me pretty much all my life. And that's, what has helped evolve me to who I am. So I just pay it forward. And that's what I say, pay it forward. I pour into you, you pour into somebody else. We change the whole world because everybody's different and we're growing. And in positiveness, not that negative, toxic energy that's not going to make any difference, but it's going to kill you. I don't know about y'all, but I want to age like fine wine,
That's
I ain't
right.
trying to, I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of wrinkles if I don't have to. So I want to smile a lot. I would have lines from cheesing.
That's right. So let me ask you the question for season 2. What do you wish that somebody would have told you about publishing before you got started?
Okay. I'm still learning. Because when I got in this, like I said, I was led into this. So I learned along the way and I'm still learning. And it's still like you don't know what you don't know. And so some of it becomes intimidating, but I try not to let it stop me because I know it's not me. And so I have to use faith in that. But just like I just figured out that distributors can buy your book too. See, tell you, I didn't even pay attention. I just knew I was getting royalties. So I'm like, oh, somebody bought the thing. Okay. Okay. And I happened to look as I was trying to get ready to do the taxes and pulling up your statements of stuff. And I looked deeper and then I Googled and I was like, oh, that's not so, but it's so many, different just facets of publishing. It's not just you getting that book. It is the marketing piece. It is the even with your royalties and those type of things. It's like that actually depends on how much you charge for the book, and so you really don't totally understand that when you're trying to price. And not saying that you don't. I have a business degree and everything, but I also have a social worker heart. So like when I wrote Selfie Nation, I only made it 99 cents so it could be a blessing. It was not because it wasn't worth more than that. So when I wrote this book, you told me how much to pay. See, Lord gave it to you because I probably would have said, oh, I want to bless somebody. I'm not going to, think, even though it's like charging what you're worth and thinking about all those other things that go in. Now, I've sold things before. So I do know in sales, you're paying for everything. You're paying for your packaging, you're paying for postage, and postage can be something. So I think just it's so many little pieces that go to that, to publishing a book, that kind of maybe a cheat sheet would have been beneficial. Mm-hmm. A true little quick cheat sheet. I ain't talking about all that more. You got to do all that reading because if anybody read my books, if I ain't gonna read it, you ain't gonna worry about it. You ain't gonna have to read it because if it don't keep me, I ain't gonna write it for you. Because I like stuff that keep me engaged. I like learning stuff, but if it's too, okay, I'm through. I skim. I was a professional student. Hey, I can make A's and just skim and be on my way to class studying for the test and then sit down and get an A. So, but when I'm really looking for something, going from there. So I think that's really the little ins and out of maybe the financial piece would have been beneficial and everything. Especially for those I was just blessed as far as my initial investment being minimal. It was really a grace from God because I see, the pricings and stuff like that. And I see all of those and I'm like, you know what? I don't even know if these books would have been around if I had to pay that. And I do, like I said, when I tell you, I thank God for you. I have to ask him to bless you. And I do that because I would not have had the first book nor the second had the writing challenges not been there. Because you think about the cost of all that. And when I shared about you blessing me with this book, and I was talking to a friend and showed him the book, and he was looking at it, and I was saying, you know, just how you had blessed me and helped me get that, just being a blessing. He was like, "Oh yeah, she hooked you up." He was like, he said, "I charge." He was like, "Oh, you get." She was like, "Oh yeah, because he has his own little publishing company." He was like, "Yeah, I charge just for yeah." I said, "I know. That's why I asked the Lord to bless him." You know, but I'm doing what he called me to do. It's really to be a blessing to others. I'm not doing this for me. It ain't about ego. It really is to be a blessing. And I know that there's some women that need someone to pour into them another story. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going and what God said you are going and who you are. And that's really what people think. God had to remind me of who I was. He had to tell me who I was once again, but in the level of where he was taking me. And then I had to believe him. And when I have doubt and fear, I get aligned with him. And I say, "Lord, I trust you and I can't go without you. Okay, now we're going to do this." I prayed before we came on this. I didn't know what I was going to say to you. I said, "Okay, Lord, control my mouth." I pray. That is my foundation. Some people may not believe in that, but that is my strength. And that's what I do. I give it to him, hearing his word and being guided. You know, even, you know, inspiring people and being inspired by what he shared. I don't hold stuff. You know, it's like if you're hearing good things, you want to share with others. So it's like when I was inspired to share things that I would hear, I was like, people gonna think I'm crazy. but then I'm like, I gotta do it anyway. It ain't about those that may not. It's the people that come back and say, "Oh, this was right on time. Oh, I needed that. Oh, you was talking to me." You know, and it's like, see, I have to do what he called me to do. And I'm a servant. I know I am, and I've always been. And I enjoy seeing people grow. I enjoy seeing people heal because I work at child services. So I enjoy seeing children get permanency because I do adoptions and just you know, seeing a different light and everything. And I call them all our babies. So, you know, they are all our babies. They are all, and I pray for all kids in child welfare around the world. I don't gotta know them to love them because they're his kids and he loves his kids and we love them too. Some have more challenges than others, but they're still licensed. It's amazing to me when you get an opportunity to interact with them, how resilient they are and how talented. And it's just somebody, you know, saying, you know, you can do that. And it's just amazing because there's so many gifts in each one of us. And using it to bless somebody else is a blessing. Being able to be a blessing is a blessing. And people don't realize that.
It is.
I'm going to die empty. I ain't not full. I'm going to die empty. I'm going to give it all. He say it's time to go. But I'm okay. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Now, I tell you, I have a joke and I say I want to live so long that Social Security want to pay someone to take me off the payroll. With my check. But see, I want my right mind, so I know my money, where my money is.
Right. Right. So tell everybody, where can they get the 21-day self-love challenge book? I know your ebooks are on Kindle. You can do that at Amazon.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon as well, and then at bit.ly/Selfie Nation Journal. So they can order it there as well. And then I'm actually starting a sale tomorrow for the Selfie Nation Apparel because I did start that around time of the book coming out. So, you know, the Selfie Nation Apparel got t-shirts and other items. And so running a sale tomorrow on that, 15% off the whole store. So we'll be posting that on my social media. So I know it's only a few days that the sale run, but it's like catching it if someone wants to try it. And I wear, you know, buy the shirts and wear them and seeing the different styles and how they fit and how, you know, how I like them as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So you guys see the link on the screen for those of you who are watching this on YouTube and on the replay. If you're listening to this on the audio version, you could go to the link that's in the caption to the bottom of the notes and go ahead and pick you up one of those 21-day self-love challenges. You can also go to Amazon ivralineintroduction.com and download her ebook. So, Miss Ivraline, I am so excited for you joining me. Thank you so much. You are one of my bonus recordings for season 2. We actually get started, I think next week, um, with the recording of season 2's podcast series. And so I'm just so excited. I thank you so much. So if you had just a word of advice for aspiring authors out there, what would you tell them?
Write that book. Get it all down, because that's what I heard others say, and worry about the editing after. Do not edit as you write. And I'm working on a book right now, and I use that advice. I say, you know what? I'm just going to write everything down, and then I'll go back and edit. And so this is a unique way that I'm writing this book as opposed to the previous books, because I did like an outline format. That's just a student in me. But somebody needs your book. Do not write it because you're wondering who's going to buy it, or you're wondering, is it good information? Get you a good publisher that can actually help you evaluate. I will say that was a benefit for me with Chantea. It's like, what are you trying to share with the audience, and questioning that. And when you're writing your book, after you finish, when you're going through it, read it out loud. And that was a tip that I received as well, because when you're hearing yourself, it does make a difference. And then you do change things around as you're editing that copy. It is helpful because when you hear it, it makes a difference. So that's the things that I would say. Don't stop. Don't worry about, who's in your corner. If God told you to write it, he in your corner. It's and it's a reason. I went through that, and I heard, but I had the blessing to have several, not just Chantea, but some of the others that she's connected to that I've been listening to as well over the years, and everybody's saying the same thing. Don't worry about who ain't supporting you. Don't worry about if they buy your thing. Keep doing what you're supposed to do, because God's timing is perfect. And if he has a time for that book, it has to be out so that he can do what he wants to do with it. And it may not be when you think it's supposed to happen. And I know that even about my ebook and the second one. And I look at it and I was like, oh, interesting. And, but it has a perfect timing because it has purpose. And if you did it and it has purpose, it shall serve the purpose that God has for it in his time. Do not worry about what somebody else think about what you're doing. I've been through that. The others before me been through that. You gonna go through that. You trust God. And just like Gideon, you just ask him to help you.
That's right. That's such great advice. And I hope all of your aspiring authors took notes while she was encouraging you, and just get started. Don't let the start stop you. Right. So just start writing. It's not going to be perfect. It's your first draft. It's not supposed to be perfect. Right. But you got to get those thoughts out of your mind onto paper, onto your screen, or however you do it, in your journal, in your notebook, in your phone, whatever. Just get it done. Just get it done. So, Ivraline, thank you so much for tuning in. For joining me on this evening. Thank you so much. To see your journey has been absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. So I know that you have many more great things that are to come. All right, you guys. So we got a couple of things that we want to share with you on today. Our first is our author aspiring kit. So if you are an aspiring author and you are looking to write a book, if you are maybe working on your second book and you're saying, oh my gosh, I just want to do something that's going to get me disciplined. Maybe the first one, you just wrote it to get it out, and now you want to perfect your process. So we have created the absolute best product for you. It is our aspiring author kit. It comes with a publishing planner and a workbook. It helps you go from idea creation to book publishing, even a timeline. It lets you write your timeline as to when you need to have things done according to the date that you want your book to be in your hand. And so there's marketing strategies in there. It helps you define your target audience. It helps you to write realistic financial goals, right? It's one thing to say, hey, I want to make 100K. It's another thing to know how many books do you need to sell each day in order to get that 100K. All right, so we help you to determine whether or not your financial goals are realistic. So you also, with this Aspiring Author Kit, get a free 30-minute Zoom strategy session. In this strategy session, we help you outline your book. We help you get you unstuck. If you got writer's block, maybe you've already halfway written it and you're not really sure how to transition from one section to another section, this is what it's for. So in this Zoom strategy session, I'm going to help you unlock the things that have you stuck so that you can get your book done. So you can go to our website, relentlesspublishing.com, click on our store, and go ahead and order your author's kit today. So the next program that we have available, and I'm so excited about this one, is our Authors Roundtable. It is our very first group coaching program that we're launching in January of 2022. This is a 6-month group coaching program where we will meet bi-weekly on Mondays. Our first meeting will be a teaching. Our second meeting will be a writing session. So in this writing session, you can get peer review, peer feedback. You can also ask questions if you're writing, if you're stuck. I can help you get unstuck. So you also get the Aspiring Author Kit with this. It comes with a full service publishing package, or you can write a children's book package. We're going to give you 20 free author copies, 100 postcards, and we will also interview you on the Get Your Right On podcast. And so the investment for this group coaching program is $3,000. The deposit is $300. You will get an invoice for the balance, and the balance must be paid by December 31st of this year. We're going to hit January running. Okay, so if you are interested in this authors roundtable, if you think this is for you, go ahead and sign up before the seats fill up. Now, this program is not only for aspiring authors, it's also for veteran authors who just need that accountability. Maybe you think, you know what, I just need someone to give me that firm deadlines, to kind of push me, to kind of make sure that I stay on track. This is for you. So I'm so excited to have this program and to be able to launch it next year. And so I cannot wait to help you get the book in you, out of you. So if you're interested, go ahead to our website, relentlesspublishing.com. Go ahead and submit your deposit, and then you'll get a welcome letter. You'll get a welcome packet in the mail and all of that good stuff. So if you have questions, you can send us an email at info@relentlesspublishing.com, where we can answer any question that you have regarding this program. But I'm telling you, don't let excuses stop you from getting your book done. You are the solution to somebody's problem, but you cannot remain the world's best kept secret. It's time for you to get out. This is your breakout year, but it's going to take work. It's going to take investment. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take you wanting to do what it needs to get done. It's going to take work. All right. So if you're willing to work, I'm willing to help you. All right. So again, thank you so much, Ivraline, for joining me. As we say at Relentless, it is never too late to get your right on. You guys have an amazing day on purpose.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Get Your Right On podcast. Make sure to visit our website at www.relentlesspublishing.com. You can subscribe to our monthly mailing list, check out our publishing packages, and pick up our Aspiring Author Kit, which helps you get the book out of your head and into your hand. Don't forget to tell an aspiring author about our show and kindly leave us a review. Until next time, remember, it's never too late to get your right on.